Why would you want to practice some things virtually? Well, because when you have to handle this baby in real life, there's a certain way to do it that's going to make a difference for how well they're going to do, and you want to be able to practice that.
They quickly picked up the skills. They immersed themselves in the video and participated instead of just watching. They started picking up tools themselves. And then when we translated them back into the real world and said, all right, do it again, show us what you can do, they had great recall that was comparable to our advanced fellows who had been doing this over and over again in their jobs for the past 2 and 3 years. The conclusion we came to was that VR is really an appropriate vehicle to teach medical education and simulation.
If you have a mannequin-based sim lab, the cost of that sim lab is through the roof, whereas Acadicus, you can change in 20 seconds to all these settings and scenes for your students, the variety.
When you compare that to the cost of a simulator, over time, it's much less expensive to have the virtual reality.
I couldn't create an operating room in my sim lab and make them feel like they're in an operating room and understand where some of the things are and where people might be and all of that. Well, that's something I can do in VR.
We can create any kind of environment, any kind of patient, any kind of situation, and then just make it real.
So the pre-briefing is also important, and that can be done with the 3D recording. It's just the system just allows you so much.
What I found with putting that headset on and being in an immersive environment like Acadicus is it really ratchets up that reality factor.
In the real world, when we're in clinical with our students, we don't wait to get a score from somebody else. We're evaluating them while they're doing their clinical. We're watching what they can do. We're sitting down with them and talking. And this is the space that brings that all together. And that's why I'm so excited about Acadicus.
As an educator and a teacher, paying attention to, I think, technology and what's going on in society, there's a lot of gaps in the way we teach and the effectiveness of it.
If anyone has ever spent, the evening or a day in a hospital by a loved one's bedside, you see gaps and you see safety concerns. And that's what's created for me that passion. We can make this even better.
At some point, learners are going to have expectations, and if we don't meet them, they're just going to go find programs and learning opportunities that meet their expectations.
Bringing those patients to life is what's so important.
Here, go have this difficult conversation with his family because you watched me do it once. And there's so much nuance and detail around that and so much complexity that I think virtually you can practice in that environment without the risk of actually harming a human being.
This space is, to me, it's a space where it's bringing everybody together.
I'm in Florida, you're in Montreal, John's in Wisconsin, but we're all still here together.
And maybe one of them is on the West Coast at Stanford Medical School, and maybe one's on the East Coast in Boston, and maybe one's in Texas at Baylor. But all those folks could be in Acadicus, in a mock code together.
A lot of opportunity here, and I do feel like this is one of the new frontiers of medical training and education, and will continue to grow. So it's cool to be a part of it.